Hello, Commanders, and welcome to the RNG Endgame, a podcast about the game Marvel Strike Force. Your hosts are Frid and Creative. We're leaders in an alliance from a large cluster, and would like to share our insights with you to hopefully improve your gameplay and overall experience, and give you a little entertainment.
All right, Creative, we're back with another one. Episode 79. And we'll start with some good old-fashioned gearing and leveling. And I'll keep it very short and sweet because I have continued my Heroes for Hire craziness. And now I have taken three out of the members to tier 15. That is Shang-Chi, Colleen, and Misty. This was all in this attempt to trying to clear more of the gamma raid up the middle and just be a pain in war, basically, because that's the only two places where they get used. And Shang-Chi is pretty cool, even at just 5 red stars. He does a lot of damage, so I can only imagine what it's going to be like once we can actually get him higher. So
just hit your 5 red stars.
Yeah, that's right. Simple.
Yeah.
5.
Mr. I get 80 shards from a random orb.
Just a random orb.
Just 5 stars. Don't worry, Creative, if you're measly 3 or 4 or whatever I have.
Oh man, so I go up the middle like a boss while you're like escaping to the right.
Yeah, they punted me to the sides. I'm no longer worthy of the middle, which is fine. We've got a couple guys that, so we should report in on the, using the Heroes for Hire. You've taken them up, but we have a couple guys that have done at least tier 14, maybe tier 15, and they're going down the middle just fine.
Do they have more stars?
I'm not sure. I need to go look, actually.
Sometimes they get one shot still. I mean, it can happen.
I mean, it's gamma, and it's scopely raids. So,
and Iron Fist is not even 14. I don't think I have the Chi or whatever it's called. And
embarrassing.
Yeah, I know he's your old favorite character, so that's sad for you, but he's a healer. But Shang-Chi is a better healer, even though that's not part of what he does.
Yeah, I don't think they still haven't even updated his kit to reflect all his bugs, but whatever.
It's like he doesn't heal in the movie as far as I remember, and he's not a healer. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, I need to do Iron Fist. That should help even more. And then also Luke Cage, I think it's only 14, but they're pretty good, and they're just annoying in war. So people will have to use their Infinity Watches on them. And then the other thing to report here about gearing and leveling that's of note is that I have opened a bunch of red star orbs, and I have only received a 3 red on Dagger. So I don't know what to do, if I should continue opening or just give up on it. Talk more about what we expect to receive in terms of Cloak and Dagger shards, but I think I need to keep opening. I don't know.
I mean, you still have a decent amount of regulars, right?
I mean, it's been going down.
Yeah, but you had like 500 last time we talked.
No, that's Philosopher.
Oh yeah. Any guy that puts out a video that has 600 regulars. I'm gonna put a comment on his video saying, "Please stop. You're encouraging Scopely's terrible practices." I almost puked when I saw that.
He said it, I think in the video, that he buys the $50 offers every time.
He says, he basically was trying to combat me and the trolls, but give him a hard time, saying, "I'm just doing it for fun, guys. I'm just doing it for fun." No, stop it.
Yeah, it's kind of insane. No, I think I have like maybe, it's getting low, I think.
Low is like, 150?
Oh, like 70.
Oh, you're fine. Go open 20. Call it a day.
I have some 5s. Maybe I'll get up to another 4, and then open a 5 if I get desperate. I did get a 6 right before the show from an Elite 4. I got a 6 red star. Fantastic on the Wasp. Not fantastic. Useless. So
character that has no focus and can't stun anybody.
yeah, except when you're not powerful enough in some of the raids, she will kill you and all your family and friends. But not for you. So yeah, I mean that's basically it this week. It's been kind of a crazy week again, pretty busy all around, work and life, but I have kept up with my, I guess, bare minimums and have kept leveling. I don't know if I mentioned I got to 82 and I got Infinity Watch to 82. So
Yeah,
that
we
I
talked
also
about
did.
that.
Yeah, think it makes sense. But the arena, I mean, it's a freaking nightmare. So you'll talk about that, I know, but there's some 800 plus already in the shard. So
Yeah, I've got a couple of those. And so you mentioned that you're not in the top 10.
that's right.
Wow, that's like, I mean, that's sacrilege for you.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not getting the cores like I used to.
Hmm.
It's not the 18,000 or 15,000 balance that I normally enjoyed. I am, yeah, pretty low. But it's just such a long fight and annoying, and you gotta be there at the time. There's too many variables to try to keep up with it, unfortunately. So I sit on the top 20 pretty comfortably without having to do that much.
Okay.
Mm. So that's it.
Oh,
Tell us.
oh, that's it. Oh, okay. Well, I better pick up the slack
You
then.
need to show us what you did. Get everybody
Yeah.
excited.
Well, I don't know about being excited, but yeah, I did do quite a bit. So you went ahead and unlocked, but you got White Tiger to 7 yellow stars right away,
Yes,
and you
when
had
I
a
first.
pretty bad drop rate. So I decided to try and cheat the system, and I would do some tricks, and so I finally got her to 7 yellow stars, and I still have a measly 180 blitz credits. So, Scopely.
180,000
Thousand,
or
sorry, yeah,
oh,
180,000. My bad, 180. That would be some, no, 180,000 blitz credits. So Scopely, go ahead and just keep adding stuff in the store because I don't do that much warring to do that. So anyway, so that's done. And in term, and so I'll kind of weave into what I was talking about last week of what am I going to do from an arena store perspective. Shatterstar and Red Guardian to 7 yellow stars. I still have another 95,000 credits in the arena store, so I will be buying at least the training mats. I have not even looked at the terrible orb, but I'll go look at it just to see if there's anything there of note. But I'm nowhere close to having enough shards for 6 yellow stars on Phyla, so I don't see the point. But I will probably look at training mats there. Also on arena, surprise! I got an arena shard merge. All of a sudden, the top 30 was full of people I've never heard of before. So, surprise, Scopely decided to merge my shard. And so I went from overnight being a rank 4 to 25. I climbed back up in the top 10, but, this whole, like, merging arena shards to me seems so shady, I guess. The fact that, one, they don't even acknowledge that they do it. Two, they do it overnight and you just magically drop your rank. And then, in the in-game ranks, we're losing players left, right, and center. We've talked about in the past about a lot of turnover and all that kind of stuff. But that was a bit annoying. So now I actually had to do 5 arena fights, which is I haven't had to do that for quite some time. For the War Store, I finished off Minerva. She was just a side project I was doing because nothing ever shows up. Long
Minerva.
shot.
Whoa, it's like a blast from the past.
Yeah, I know you've had her for like a year. For me, she wasn't there. But she's finally finished, and I did take her to ISO level 5. And I get into Doom teams in a little bit. Long shot is all of 5 or 10 shards away from being done. Since all of the other targets are done, I have started, well, almost all. I have started X23 just because she was the last one I need for Doc Ock, and he's still going to be around. I still see value in him, at least for the next 6 months.
My God, X23 is not done? Jeez.
So you got to remember that I was always behind you, and you had somehow gotten a lot more X23 shards. And so by the time it was time for me to start farming her, was also the time for us to start getting a DD4. And of course, everything had to go to the stupid tier 15 mats. So I've never had the opportunity to really go back and do her. I could have done her, but I don't really like the team and anything else. So I have started X23, and I still have forever to go on Bishop. I think another 70 plus shards from the War Store. Still saving a ton of those things. Still have a lot of credits saved up, and in the strike time, Cerebo talked about they're going to start telling us more about T4 or T16. So that's the whole intent of building up a currency of both the start credits as well as the War Store credits. And so from an upgrade perspective, I have been sitting on a lot of ISO green ions and crystals, blue orbs, blue crystals, you name it. So I had 200 plus blue ISO orbs and a whole lot of ions. So the first thing I did, we had some good commentary from Starman in our Discord. He's a guy that's in a very high-end alliance. He is a spender. And he gave some pointers on what he's been using for D1.1. For Doom 1.1, his alliance does 100% a couple times a week, which feels so far away for us. But and so he mentioned a few things that I'll get into. But one of the big things, which we know, and it's just you really need characters at blue ISO level 1 or better. I was just having way too many random characters just getting one shot out of the blue. So I started doing mutant. I already had all the symbiotes pretty high up, but I made sure they're all 2 because they're still terrible. And then I started progressing down the rest of my nodes, getting everyone to blue ISO level 1. From a tech perspective, I've mentioned my team in the past. Of course, it's Doom, it's Kestrel, Doc Ock, and then I was just using Nebula and Ghost because, what else do you have? But I just find that particularly Doom 1.1, it's hard to get through all 3 nodes without doing a lot of healing. So I have added Min and Shuri to at least green ISO level 5 or blue ISO level 1. I can't remember which. And that was one of the things that Starman had mentioned, is that he uses Ultron with 2 red stars, Min, Shuri, Kestrel, and Doc Ock. And so I thought that was very interesting. I mean, we knew that Ultron, you need at least 2 red stars on him. I'm hearing that, once you get the 3 red stars, he is better. But with all of those bots on the field, it's the same thing that Fury does, the same thing that Maria Hill does with the real main character of Kestrel. And that means you get a lot of characters that are pinging away and hitting those defense down targets. So I'm going to give that a try. He doesn't use that on the boss because it's the boss, so he brings in Doom for that. But so I'm going to try that out just to give us some coverage there, because we were expecting some characters for the bio nodes or the tech nodes in the blog post today, and we received neither. So I'm trying to patch some holes in tech just so I can get a little further there. What else? Longshot and Shatterstar. I know, Frid, you've had them very high for a very long time. Starting to get them higher. They're both T14. They'll be T15 in a little bit. They're my backup characters for the mutant nodes. And then, we still see the Doom and Marauders or the Doom and the Brotherhood all the time. So I want to make sure I'm helping out the Alliance and taking those teams out. So that was the intent of bringing them up. And I need to bring the other 2 X-Force up a little more as well. Outside of that, the other big problem, so I mentioned tech, the other big problem I have is bio. And so I'm on an island now. We have, and I mentioned it last week, we are doing 3 players in the bottom or left nodes of Doom, and then 3 in the middle, and then only 2 in the top. And my lane partner and I are getting through the bio boss. It's it's a team effort. I think it feels like he's probably pulling a little more of the weight sometimes. But I have taken all the symbiotes up to level 81, and it's helping a little bit. And then I had to get 1 or 2 characters to blue ISO level 2. I'm not going to take them to 3 just because they're not the answer long term.
Is there something about 81 like there was for 71 that is noteworthy, or just bigger is better?
It's just bigger is better, I think, but I need to go back and confirm. It felt a little better in some cases, but my problem is just red stars. I only have 4 on Carnage and Venom, and that's a no-go in in-game content. So I'm just trying to cover those weaknesses. But we can stumble through the bio boss node most days without spending too much on the heals. I mentioned White Tiger to 7 yellow stars. That's probably my 3rd or 4th tier, is taking Shadowland up. I also want to do Axeman, Kitty, and Iceman. Seeing just a lot of value for them in war. I know I gave some bad advice to you and someone else to use the Axeman against Kestrel. Unfortunately, it was the security room, which is defense down, and I just didn't realize that. But I have found outside of security and the defense down that they do pretty well against Kestrel. And of course, we're seeing Kestrel more and more in defense because everybody wants to put the most annoying things on defense. So that was a whole lot of stuff. There's even more. The other thing is Sam. I don't know, is Captain America Sam, the reworked Falcon, whatever I forget his name. He is supposedly significantly better than Red Guardian, even at low red stars. So he is actually my biggest priority, is the getting him up high enough. But I haven't used him yet. He's only tier 13, maybe close to tier 14. But I'll bring him in next week and see how he does.
This is your two-star Sam, Captain Sam Wilson?
I feel like he's 3 now. Yeah, he's 3 now because we've gotten through 2 strike passes. So he's 3 yellow and 3 red. I think he's officially 4 red. But so bringing him up just to be a little more safe in those skill nodes. And then I did take Maria Hill to T13 just because she's helping a lot in the Gamma. So that was a lot of stuff. Even more to come, but that was the big focus, is getting me more comfortable in Doom 1.1, preparing for getting past. We're getting 60% every day, but now getting past that, I need to get much more consistent. I've had to cancel out during a mutant node, during a bio node, almost like every day. I and several others of our alliance mates thought for sure that they were doing some stealth buffs to Doom, and I felt the last week really was that case, and all of a sudden the last 2 days have been fine. So I don't know anymore, but I would just randomly get characters one-shot, and when you get anti-venom one-shot, you're hosed. So
yep. I
was having to cancel out 1 or 2 matches a day. So the intent is to be able to get through a bio and mutant without any issues, and then work towards the others. So I just said a whole lot of stuff there, Frid. What questions, comments, concerns do you have on that?
I think I have been facing the same sort of challenge around this 1.1 situation because bio continues to be a problem. So I'm thinking about maybe I'll do the blue ISO. That's one option. Level 81 is another option. But then also in tech, that's another one that's problematic because Ghost just doesn't do anything. And Nebula also doesn't do that much. So maybe
I find like she does really well, particularly with her, when she gets her assists off and all that. Plus she can get counter and the evades on herself. I thought she does pretty well. I mean, she doesn't heal, but...
I have a 6 red star of her, and I find her underwhelming still.
Okay.
She just stands there. She does better than... Ghost seems to be the one that gets one shot all the time.
Yes. Yeah.
And
it's pretty pathetic. We have pretty big ghosts, and she's done in like one turn.
Yeah. The Sam thing, I don't know. I feel good about skill as is. The combinations I have. Mm-hmm. I have like this Punisher team and this other stuff. They seem to be holding their own. So I don't know that. But if it's so much better, then maybe it's worth it.
The speed mechanic of him is just crazy. Plus, he gives out energy. I mean, he's basically, if you take the original Captain America and Falcon, you combine them together. He's got some some pretty solid moves. Plus just the deflects and the blocks and all that just are crazy.
Yeah. So yeah, no, I think this is where we need to be focusing. They're already talking about Doom 2 on the strike time.
Ugh, yeah.
So, yeah, might as well just master this so that we can not be ready for yet another thing.
Bend over. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Gonna have another.
All right.
Okay. Well, I do have a series of numbers that I want to run through. And so the first one is there is a Carnage event. It's really focused in and around the costume that they have for him, or the new skin. Nothing terribly exciting in the milestones. There's a good bit of training mats, which I will always take. Oddly enough, there's half an Elite 4 orb. I just don't know if Decimal Jeff screwed up there. Then there's one Elite, red star orb as well, which, yay, 1 in 500 chance of a character. So, but I will say it's free rewards, and it's super easy for anyone that's kind of regularly plays the game. If you do your standard 8 war attacks in the 3 or 4 wars, actually the 3 wars a week, if you do 15 raid attacks, you don't even need to do the 18 or 19. And if you just do 4 arena attacks per day, you will accomplish all of the milestones. So overall, free rewards, free event, and this really, really will help out early and mid-game players, because who is going to want to farm Carnage when you have, Bishop and other things in the War Store? So this is a big, big benefit to early and mid-game players to get Carnage, to get the symbiotes, which are just fundamentally a required team to progress through the Dark Dimension in the end games. But super, super easy for people that play the game and do a lot of the regular daily stuff. Anything you want to add there, Frid?
Yeah, I kind of glanced at the rewards without the numbers, and I was like, doesn't seem like there's anything too exciting here. I'm glad it's easy. That's a good thing. And yeah, the costume looks cool, so I'll probably get it.
Okay. All right. The other thing is, last week it was kind of hot off the press. Cloak and Dagger's Strike Pass came out, so we talked a little about that. But I just want to come back to it. There was, I think even Mobile Gamer, OMG, highlighted. There's some good Reddit posts about how this is just, yet again, Scopely making decisions that are just completely unfavorable to the player base. But they have made some tweaks. They're going to give you a whole 25 shards instead of 21 shards from the milestones of the blitzes. They did confirm that there will be 2 blitzes, as we suspected. And they're going to give us luminous credits so you can kind of pick and choose. But the focus for me is, in good conscience, I'm struggling with Scopely and their decisions. I certainly can't recommend anyone spending money, so I'm going to continue to focus on what we always do, which is how to beat the game or play the game without spending money, using advanced planning. So, Scopely is not going to make any. They're clearly going down a direction that is worse and worse for the players. They're not going to make any changes unless people stop spending or people, start quitting. We've seen the quitting already, but so I don't expect the player base to get organized to do enough to impact Scopely. So I'm going to keep focusing on how do you win this game free to play. So with that, to kind of appease my conscience and to keep focusing on how to win without spending money, I want to talk about how everyone can unlock Cloak and Dagger, and I mean everyone. So I noticed something odd. Either the Blitz predictions are out of date or what, but the last character that we had through a Blitz, where people really go hard, was Maria Hill back in early August, and all the predictions were different Blitz tiers. So, some of these numbers may be a little bit off, but ultimately, anyone that can get 1% in both of the Blitzes and does all the Strike Pass will get quite close to having a 4 yellow star unlock on both characters. You will need to go out and open one of the 750 core orbs for the measly 4 shards that we didn't get. So you need to open one for each character, one for Cloak, one for Dagger, and you will get a grand total of 4 yellow stars. After, of course, 2 months of strike passes and 2 blitzes. So
and the blitz your face off kind, not the more casual. You don't need to do that much kind.
I don't know. I still don't think, I mentioned in the past that I don't think the blitz numbers are going to go crazy high. I think most people are where they are in the game and they're going to do what they normally do. So I don't see them kind of going above the 35, 36 million range for the 1%, but we'll see. You never know. Particularly if everybody's facing very low shards. And with this approach, a lot of people are going to unlock them, but most people aren't going to have them high unless they spend money. So we'll see. I don't know. But so if you can get to 1% in blitz, which is, again, somewhere 36 to 40 million, who knows? Used to be. We'll have to see. You will get 3 yellow stars, and if you open one of each orb, you will get 4 yellow stars. So again, we're in kind of uncharted territory that you're having to spend cores just to get characters to 4 yellow stars. From a mid-game perspective, if you can get around the 30% rewards, that's 25 shards, and that's just really 4 million to 6 million in the blitz points, you are going to unlock the characters without needing to spend any cores. And that's, again, because they are going to increase the blitz milestones rewards from 21 shards to 25 shards. So you don't have to do anything to unlock the character. There's no hope of a 4 yellow star unless you want to spend a god-awful amount of cores. So let's focus now on the early kind of game players. And I was looking at what is now the 65% rewards. That is going to reward 15 shards. So with that 15 shards, you're going to be about 10 shards short of unlocking the character. You would need to open, hopefully it's only one, but you never know. But you need to get enough shards from the orbs to get 10 shards. So even an early game player at a 65% tier, or percent tier, will get the 15 shards from the blitz rewards, 25 shards from the milestones, and then the 50 shards from the strike pass. So they can unlock it. So last time we talked about it, it was really, we were afraid that, maybe 20% of the player base could do it, but I think 65% can do it with a little bit of a core expenditure. So let me pause there. Frid, any comments? Yeah.
Yeah, so first, just some observations. So they basically have taken the Blitz release method and combined it with the Strike Pass release method for 2 characters.
Mm-hmm.
So if you choose to go all blitz on one of the 2, you could get to 4 that way, but that would leave the other one at just 3. So what we're trying to tell you is how to get to 4 on both by mashing up these methods, but you can't get it based on what they give you. You have to open these additional orbs. And I just to me, this whole thing, again, I think it was a great opportunity to do a show of good faith. These characters are so intertwined. They could have just, you get both for the first time, kind of give one character away for free, right? But of course, that's me dreaming. And then let's see. The other thing is, so if you're new, all you can aspire to is 3-star on each. Is that right? After 2 months?
Yeah, 3 stars on both. And again, if you get to the 65% rewards, which the numbers you never really know, but that could be as low as about $1.5 million, 2 million in blitz, which that should be pretty darn doable. I mean, I go back to the story of wanting extra shards on Groot, and I was only 1 million collection power, and I got 4 million collection power, 4 million in blitz points, and that was when we had to do it manually. There was no auto. So I think a lot of players really could get to that 65% rewards. I mean, it's 65% of the player base, so that's good news. But again, you have to spend cores, which is The theme we see now is you get less shards and you have to spend cores just to get there.
Yep. All right.
So, we can't make any commentary about how good these characters are. There's already people that have spent a ridiculous amount of money and have unlocked these characters, and there's a couple videos of them taking in the raids. I'm sure the characters are strong, just because we've talked about in the past, their stats are top 25 across the board, almost in everything. But we can't commit to how good they're going to be at 3 yellow stars. So, but what we would say is unlocking the champion or the character allows you to have a better situation, a better set of options. And if you're a new player, the content that you're doing at the 3 yellow stars will be suffice. I mean, these characters are so OP that it's worth the, little bit of core expenditure that you would need to do. So, those orbs are in game right now, the 65 core orbs. I don't trust or have any faith in Scopely that these will come back during the Blitz, but they're supposed to. I would recommend go ahead and doing those opening now if you have the cores, or certainly make sure you're focusing on Arena so you can get those in time.
Yeah, I did it right before. Following your advice, I got 10 Cloak and 8 Dagger. So
all right,
I'm
all set.
Just need to wait now 2 months.
Okay. What else from a numbers perspective? The other is PvP is not, in fact, dead. I had sincerely hoped that you'd do a Blitz cycle and you would do all you need to do from a Battle Pass perspective, and that is not so fast. You have to do a redonkulous amount of blitzing to achieve the milestones. So I'll go dig up those numbers here in just a second, but ultimately, you really should just still be doing PvP. And you should be doing Phoenix with a bunch of scrubs, putting on auto, and chilling. And so I see too many people that are trying to get tricky and put Doom in the middle or something else. No. It is time for us to unite as a player base, put Phoenix in the middle, put 4 scrubs, hit auto. Everybody gets 5 KOs in a minute or whatever it is. You only need to do 4 matches a day if everybody's doing that method, and you have achieved all of the daily objectives, which is music to a lot of people's ears. In the past, it was quite a bit different.
Remember you had to grind those protector moves or whatever it was. It took forever.
Yeah.
So please, everybody, listen to your friend Creative when he says, go Phoenix and the scrubs, and everybody will appreciate it and get this over with as quickly as you can.
Yeah. Now, I will say, so let me go back to these Blitz numbers. So to achieve the weekly Battle Pass objective, the highest milestone is a grand total of 2,400 points, which is just absurd. You're going to need 240 PvP kills. That's a lot. So that's much more than the 4 matches a day. But to make it even worse sounding, you need a mere 800 Blitz wins in a week. 800. So these numbers to me are just way off base. We definitely do not recommend going the Blitz route. It's multiple cycles just to get through the first series of daily objectives. So again, I think it's in the neighborhood of 114 blitzes per day to achieve that max milestone, or 7 PvP wins. So let's all be nice. Put Phoenix in the middle, hit auto, and you'll be done in 5 minutes. And everybody will relax. We don't have to deal with this crap anymore. Please.
It's a beautiful thing when you see it. You're like, okay, this is going to be fun. Hit the auto, everybody gets their knockouts, and we move on with our lives.
So if I run across you and you're running Doom or you're running Ghost and Phoenix is not banned, you're going to go to the wall of shame. I'm saying that right now. Those individuals that have been doing it, stop it. You're not helping yourself. There's no wins anymore. It is kills. It is just kills.
And you're not getting anything out of this mode because it doesn't matter. It doesn't have more specific buffs. It doesn't teach you how to play. None of that stuff happens.
Exactly.
It's a bunch of cheese to get it over with.
Now, again, we know that not everybody's unlocked Phoenix. God forbid people actually, this day and age, would have to go farm Nobu or farm Hand Assassin. So the early and mid-game players that don't have Phoenix, we get it. So for those folks, you get a pass. But everybody else, don't end up on the naughty board. All right, so I thought I want to share that. We didn't come up with those numbers last week, but again, it's just 7 matches a day, and it's super fast. Just it's easy. We all move on. So that was another piece from the numbers perspective that I wanted to cover. Frid, any other numbers things that you want to talk about?
I don't think so. I wasn't sure about the battle pass, which is the one from PvP, and how it was moving, because you're so used to seeing numbers pop up over there when you're playing PvP, but now sometimes after a blitz cycle you see the numbers move, so that's been weird. But it's good to know that the route to go is still PvP as opposed to trying to blitz your way into this, so that's enlightening.
Yeah, and I found a consistent bug that typically I would log in. I think the reset timer has been around 8 p.m. Eastern. I would log in at 8 p.m. Eastern, and that's typically when your 8 charge refresh finishes for us. Log in and do a blitz when we had to do blitz for Shang-Chi, and none of it would count towards the freaking battle pass. That happened to me 3 nights in a row, and I just stopped doing it. So that's the other thing, and just yet another thing Scopely didn't get right. So just do Phoenix, Auto, and Chill, baby.
That's right.
All right. So I want to cover a couple other things from a news perspective.
We interrupt this program for a special news bulletin.
I highlighted a little bit earlier that we were expecting a bio character, a tech character to help us with Doom, and we received none of those. And in fortuitous fashion, I posted earlier today saying there was a data mine showing that a legendary character was coming out, and it was going to be this Omega Red character that we talked about last week, that I just would be very annoyed if the New Warriors, and I meant to put in Secret Avengers, were the unlock, and I would be doubly annoyed if the character did not have a bio or tech tag. So I am triply annoyed at this stage that we got a mutant character. The absolute one thing we did not need. So, Frid, I want to get your reaction to this legendary character being announced. I know you haven't looked through the kit and everything just yet, but what's your reaction just based on what I've said?
Well, the kit itself, I was kind of glancing at it, and it's a wall of text, and it had like in war this and that, so I didn't study it at all. I mean, the unlock method is not that surprising, I guess. Another one, anything they put behind the strike path is going to be a problem, because it's very hard to get free to play, more than 3, really. I mean, so the combination seems right that they're using the Secret Avengers. And then, did you see the other 2 requirements? One is Nick Fury. Okay.
Yeah.
And then the other one is Winter Soldier.
So to me, this was like a triple middle finger to early and mid-game players, because none of them are going to go after Fury. I like Fury. He's a good character. But who the heck is going to go farm the Kree minions at this stage? None of them. Nobody is. I mean, this is like... I don't know why we put up with this, to be honest. I don't know why mid-game and early game players aren't revolting. The fact that Fury is the chance, or the character, I mean, to me, absurd. And then now, again, of course, this is the mythic legendary events, which are going to require ISO. Can you imagine having to take Winter Soldier to ISO level 5? I mean, good grief. It's just, horrible.
I know, just forced upgrade for no use other than that one. It's kind of sad. But
I mean, and then this is just thematically, this is so wrong, right? So first you pick Secret Avengers, Fury, and Winter Soldier, which has no correlation whatsoever to Omega Red. And then to make matters worse, Omega Red is supposedly the rival of Wolverine. I mean, this is what they said in the Strike Pass. And what do? Let's put them on the same team. Yeah, that makes sense. So Wolverine and Sabretooth that are like mortal enemies of Omega Red, let's put them on the same team together and give them a bunch of synergy. So very strange. But in short, I'm not going to go through his kit. He's Doc Ock on steroids. While the character likely will be a counter, or the team will likely be a counter for Heroes for Hire, I'm going to put him on more defense because he does a lot of crazy things that Doc Ock does, and it's going to be real painful and annoying. So I'm not excited about this character in terms of what I was hoping for, and I don't really get excited about war teams because their availability or need across the game is very limited. All right. So we had that news. Go ahead.
What do you think our chances to get him are anyway? I mean,
well, I did not spend extra cores on Sharon Carter, but she's 50 shards away. Maria Hill's 50 shards away, and then of course Sam is quite a ways away. So I'm gonna need. I added it up the other day. I'm gonna need a lot, or added it up earlier today. I'm gonna need a lot for him. So you suspect he is going to the.
Yeah, when they put him in the war store just for you.
Yeah,
you're not gonna like that part.
So they're gonna put him in the war store, give him the X-23 treatment. So then I'm screwed.
It's like 2 days before the event. Oh look, you can get an 8 chance, and they won't remove anything else. Just add him, no extra row, and then it's gonna take whatever long for him to appear, and you have 2 days to get like 210 shards. Not gonna happen.
Right. So I'm the prospect of having to get Sam that high up in a week and a half period of time in probably a poor or a very terrible selection for players. I'm not excited. So I was looking for Bio and Tech Strike 1. I don't want a war character Strike 2, and then you made characters that we knew you would select that are low and problematic Strike 3. So again, character looks super strong. I'm sure people are excited about that. And then the good news is Wolverine, always been the odd man out with the X-Men, and Sabretooth, who's always been dropped for Doom and other things, at least in war teams, in defense. Those are getting massive stat buffs, comparable to what happened to Gamora and to Nebula, so they'll be usable. We'll get 2 more of these this team, Weapon X team. So as usual, I'm sure this will be a super strong team, but I'm not looking forward to most likely missing the legendary event. Anything you want to add there?
No, I mean, we better just kind of resign ourselves to we may get him on the second pass, and if it's super OP and changes everything, well, we're gonna suffer. And there's not much. It'll be like Black Bull, remember, when we're getting ready for him, or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Okay.
Yep.
What other things? So, Starman that I mentioned before, longtime leader of Ragnarok and the cluster of Ragnarok. Good guy, solid commentary, consistent commentary in our Discord. Really appreciate that. He's been doing D11 for quite a while, and they're actually doing 100%, which is just insane. He did post a lot of the teams that he is using for reference, and I really appreciated him doing that. It's what we kind of expected to see. So from a mutant perspective, Axemen for the non-boss. For the mutant boss, the story has always been use the trio, Jubilee, Bishop, and then Sinister, and then the Dad Bros, do the clone, hit auto. Everybody knows that one for a while, at least most people. Mystic, it's what we've talked about. Sub in Deathpool instead of Hela, or Adam Warlock with Doom, Silver Surfer, Thanos, and Ebony Maw, and that team's been working very well. Bio, it's the symbiotes. Skill teams, he does have, and he's clearly spent some cash. He's got Captain America Sam at not only 7 yellow stars, but at 7 red stars.
Whew.
So he already has the full Secret Avengers at 7 yellow stars, so he spent some coin there. But anyway, he has Secret Avengers with Kestrel and Fury, standard kind of team. And then he has another team with Gamora and Moondragon subbed in for Fury and Maria Hill. So all that's a lot of standard. The thing that caught my eye was his tech team. Now, just a couple disclaimers. This is the tech team he uses for the non-boss nodes. He has Minerva, Shuri, Ultron, Doc Ock, and Kestrel. So I was very surprised to see that Minerva and Shuri have had struggles. They were getting one shot and things like that. And then, of course, Ultron, he has 2 red stars in Ultron. And so the commentary in and around Ultron has always been, you really want 3 red stars on him, and then he starts getting to where he's back to where he could play. But I thought this was very interesting. There's a lot of summons there that you would have. So you'd have Doc Ock summons. You have the Ultron bots. And, if you're putting Kestrel, you're doing her special, you'll have a bunch of defense downs. So you could use the ping factor of all the minions hitting the defense down character. So I thought that was interesting. I want to give that a try. But I really appreciate him posting this. Clearly he has no characters except for Ultron that are less than 5 yellow stars. Across the board, there's a lot of red stars. So, as expected, in-game content is locked behind an RNG mechanic. Any commentary, Frid?
Yeah, I think I mentioned this before when we went through this. Even though some of this sounds exciting, the skill nodes I don't have any trouble with. So I don't know. I think I need to focus, like that tech team especially.
Yep.
Be something worth trying. So I'm going to look into that.
Yep. I'm going to cover Still Haven't Heard news because we haven't had that in forever. And it's time to bring that back based upon how things are going. But anything that you want to add before I get there? Any other news elements?
I'm trying to remember from that blog. Was there anything else? Wasn't there some event?
Yeah, I kind of skipped over it. I didn't see anything terribly exciting, to be honest.
It wasn't too exciting.
It looks like there's free gear. It looks like a very similar thing to what we've seen in the past. You do some blitz, you do some other things, you get free rewards. So overall, free stuff is always good stuff. But I didn't see anything to. I didn't see character shards. That's where I focus.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll just have to wait to see the kits of these other Weapon X team members, see how power crept they are. Together with Omega Red, we're going to be suffering since we can't unlock him the first go around. So that's a bit of a pain for us.
Okay. Well, unfortunately, or fortunately, I guess, I had a series of Still Haven't Heard topics, and the strike time actually started to hint at a few things. So one thing that I've been very annoyed at is there's been no detail about Tier 16 and the horribly named teal gear. Can't call it blue. It's got to be teal. And whether or not we're going to need uniques or not. The commentary from Cerebro in the strike time was next week or sometime very soon, we will start getting more detail about, I'm going to call it blue gear, and Tier 16. So, but it has been now quite a while since they talked about it, and we've not had any details. I'm still buying uniques at this point because I have no better information, and I really don't need anything from the store. Frid, I'm assuming you're still buying the uniques from the Gold Store.
Yes, I sure am. I do think this is going to be different for some reason.
I do as well, but I'm scary as to what that is going to be.
Right. I think it's not good, but it's going to be different. But it doesn't hurt. We don't know what these new characters. I think Omega Red has carbonadium in him or something in the lore, so it would make sense that that's his unique. We don't know.
Yes.
So they always bring them and reuse them, so it's always good to have a stockpile just in case.
Yep. All right. And then, we already gave this one away. Still no detail of bio or tech characters that will help us with the Doom raids. It has been forever. Still nothing there. One that's near and dear to my heart is that we still do not have a rework of the Greek raid orbs. Good grief. There are no characters in there for us at this stage. And at this point, we don't need the ABCs. So I'm sitting on hundreds of those, hoping that Scopely finally gets their act together and puts in some character shards that we can use. The other piece is the other half of the raid orbs, which is the purple and orange raid gear orbs, are still terrible. And Frid, you joked about having to open some of those, and you're like, wow, these are really bad. They are horrendously bad. So I am up to thousands of these orbs because there's no value in opening them. They're just basically Omega or Ultimate shards, I should say.
Yeah, I gotta remind you that anytime they made a change to these, they changed the whole orb. So
Yes.
It's not like you get transfer the orbs so you can open them. So I've just been 10xing this. Ultimus has like some of the newer characters, so I press my luck there.
Yeah, I fully suspect that'll be the case, but I think they'll also screw up somewhere. So it'll be in my favor somehow, one way or another. And then we're starting the clock now that the Secret Avengers and their farmability has not been announced. So that'll be our current theme over the next several weeks, as we have no idea how they're going to be farmable, and we expect Scopely to continue their games. So those are the news items that I wanted to cover. Frid, anything else you want to cover from a Marvel Strike Force perspective?
I guess I haven't checked the screen time thing, but I would assume the screen time is down again, if not flat. It's with everything going on, it's kind of hard to keep up even with the minimums. And some of the things, like I mentioned, Arena are not that fun, and some of these Doom raids are not fun either with the one-shot possibilities. It just makes the whole thing frustrating. So it's hard to get excited to do it. I mean, we're still doing it. Want to be good alliance teammates, but I don't know. What are they gonna do? Can they wait 6 more months to give us a new game mode for us to be interested in? Omega Red or more characters is not the answer. We know that.
Clearly, it is to them, though.
But yeah, it keeps making money, I suppose.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, PvP was this big thing that was going to have leagues and events and all this, and they basically abandoned that whole thing because it didn't work. So that was the big push or the big new thing, and it was a bust. And these changes to war have me a little worried, but we'll evaluate them when we see the final ones.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm not going to cover a whole lot of Marvel Future Revolution stuff this week, but I'll let you, anything you want to cover there.
So for Future Revolution, I was telling you before the show that I've started to focus on the one character. I have all 8 characters that I'm running around with, but I've been moving everything to my main, which is Spider-Man. And I watch a couple videos on how to beat Maestro, so I feel good about being able to beat the final boss. I've only tried him twice. And that should be exciting from opening other areas of the game that I haven't gotten to. But yeah, I think trying to spread yourself to do multiple characters is gonna, one, take forever, and second, be counterproductive. So I'm funneling everything to my main character at this point.
Yeah, so similar from your perspective, I am not playing as much, I guess, and I am shifting everything into Doctor Strange. My desire to level up some of the other characters is very minimal, and I just don't have the desire to try and get multiple characters up, just the numbers and the odds are just way against you. So I've dumped everything into Doctor Strange, and I've gone at least 50k more in collection power in like 2 days. There's a special event going on where you can open kind of packs in a sense and get 10 gear pieces. I've spent over 8,000 of my crystals. Again, not actual real spending, but the crystals that I've earned. Plus using the workstation and crafting, I don't know, like 100 plus pieces of gear. And so now I have a grand total of 3 pieces of regional gear. And I had 2 of them from all those crystals, and they were, of course, different sets. So I now have 2 of the same set. And, of course, there are 3 or 4 yellow stars, so I've got to do the grind to get them up. I've gone into the realm of the specialization. There was a good video from Darth Microtransaction just complaining about some of the things that we've talked about. This the level of RNG, the drop chance for things are just horrific. And so I experienced it firsthand related to specializations that I'm trying to get to. You have these kind of bigger buffs, if you will, and trying to get to one of those. And unfortunately, one of the little boxes requires 7 upgrades. And I have gotten to 5. And I have spent 3 times where it's an 80 or 85% chance and failed. Mm-hmm. And so I've now run out. I mean, that is just horrific to me. This wasn't even like the main cool stat. This is just some side stat so I can get over there. And it failed 3 times at 80%. I was like, oh, feels bad.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know why there's RNG. I noticed that today as I consolidated all my power on Spider-Man. I started looking at, I can do specialization now. I saw that 85%. And I was like, why is this here? Mm-hmm. Really? Gonna make me burn this precious resource and then there's a chance it doesn't even work? That seems a little too much. I mean, 85% is super high, but still it's not 100%.
Well, when it fails 3 times in a row.
It's rigged.
Yeah. So, I thought about this long and hard. I talked to you. I'm losing my luster for the game, the in-game grind, and just the numbers that are against you to get things up are pretty daunting. So, I've decided to just focus on Doctor Strange. He's the furthest along. With all the upgrades that I've done cores, cards, specialization, gear. You name it, I've done it, and I went from like 430 to 490k. Mm-hmm. I can do now the second tier of the raids, solo and all that kind of stuff, and the usual stuff is even easier. But I still get one shot in PvP, so that part, as to be expected. So we'll see. But unless they release some real new content, they start breaking down these ridiculous drop rates. There's just no clear path to in-game gear for me. That is pretty daunting and disheartening.
Just use your wallet, creative. Just throw money at the problem.
So that's the thing. So I mean, you can go watch video after video after video, and people spend hundreds, if not thousands, of dollars, and they get nothing, just because these drop rates are horrendous. So I mean, I would definitely, I'm against spending in Marvel Strike Force for the principle of, we need to send a message to Scopely that their quality is not only bad in the game, but now it's in the blog posts and other things. They can't wait. Whereas for Marvel Future Revolution, I would gladly give them money. I would gladly spend $50, if they could actually guarantee something. But there's just 0 guarantees in any of the offers. So I don't pay for RNG. I could buy a game and spend hours on a game, or I can, spend $50 in 30 seconds and get nothing. So that's not how I'm wired. If it works for others, that's fantastic, but I do not pay for RNG.
Yeah, it's obviously a successful business model, but yes, I can appreciate what you're saying about not liking it. So.
Yeah. I think ultimately I'm getting very disheartened by the mobile gaming model. I yearn.
Because you prefer your traditional, okay, I pay for an amount and it's going to be 40 hours of content and then some replayability maybe, but that's it. Not this treadmill or grind that we're in of constant activity for just little peanuts.
Yeah, I mean, I can't wait for the next Breath of Wild to come out, because I mean that to me is just so much more fun. You play at your own pace. You pay your one fee. Sure, they might have the DLCs and other things later on, but this whole mechanic of loot boxes is just like I don't know if I'm gonna let my kids play mobile games. It's just so corrupt in my opinion. I don't know.
Good. Yeah, no, it's tough. I'm sure there's going to be something coming down to try to curb some of it. So
we've heard that for years, though. So we've heard it for years. There's just anyway. I've gone off topic. So
I think this is an escalation, though, because there's so many of these games now. Every Raid Shadow, I mean, all the same. Starfleet Commander, the other one, the same. Disney Sorcerer's Arena. Take any property and do this thing over again.
Yeah,
I guess you're right. It's been happening for a while.
Yeah, so. I mean, think about how long ago it was that Electronic Arts got in all kinds of trouble for Battlegrounds and their terrible loot boxes. I mean, that's 5+ years ago.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I hear Australia's on the verge of doing stuff, but who knows? Anyway, we have gone way off topic here. The key thing is, I think Marvel Future Revolution is a very solid game. It's just the path to in-game gear is, months, if not years, or terrible buying options. So that's just really disheartening to me. I really, really wish they would listen to some of the content creators. Okay, well, we have gone off the page, off the book here a little bit, but hopefully we gave
some of these topics are relevant, even if not exactly what people may be looking for. But
yeah. So anyway, you can tell us we did a bad job or you did a good job, whatever you want. Feel free to write us a Apple Podcast review or stop by the Discord, say hi. We have some regular contributing players that are in-game. We've got mid-game. We've got a little bit of everything out there for you. We're on all your favorite podcast apps. We're on YouTube. We're on Twitter. You name it. We're out there. So as always, stay safe. Stay healthy.
We'll talk next week.